Your Soul, a podcast of Madison Christian Church in Madison, Tennessee. We're talking about
your soul
and trying to figure out how to go through life well. Right now, we're talking about the human will. I'm Kevin.
I'm Yvonne.
I'm Robin.
I'm Joshua.
I'm Devin.
I'm Brenda.
I'm Ted.
Letter 22.
Are you stuck? The will.
Do you have a problem you just can't escape from? Is it making you better or making you worse?
Sometimes a problem of the soul is hard to throw off permanently. It doesn't just sit there like a cat on your lap. It goes and finds 7 evils more foul than itself and brings them back to ruin you.
In The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, the character Arthur Dimmesdale has committed a misdeed that he refuses to confess, and that secret guilt destroys him. One fault leads to another. First he falls morally, then weakness and pride induce him to hide his sin, which makes Dimmesdale a hypocrite. These evils compound one another until Dimmesdale has no health nor joy. To the contrast, his companion in sin acknowledges her wrong and takes her punishment. She experiences a time of shame, followed by a life of personal victory. If Dimmesdale had had the courage and humility to speak the truth, he might have experienced the same. He was destroyed by his own choices.
Or consider Gollum of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings. You will have trouble finding a more pathetic, wretched character in all literature. Gollum has an unnatural addiction to an evil golden ring. As another character says of Gollum in The Ring, he hated it and loved it as he hated and loved himself. He could not get rid of it. He had no will left in the matter. Gollum's compulsions for the ring led him to murder a friend and make himself into a miserable, contemptible fiend. Finally, to steal the ring, he makes a desperate leap. Gollum snatches the ring and falls, heedless, to his doom.
The volitional problems you and I have seen might not be as dramatic as those, but they can be just as destructive. People often bump into things that are hard to get past, often of our own making. We might stay there for years. In severe cases, the mess grows big enough to define their lives.
Addiction is something you do that makes more harm than good, and you can't or won't stop it. That might not be the medical definition of addiction, but we can use it. In addiction, one desire overtakes the other desires, then goes beyond the will to begin dominating the mind, feelings, body, relationships, expenses, and all of a person's life.
Even if you feel like everything is permissible, that doesn't mean everything is helpful. Those things might even try to dominate you. The wise person will stay from things, even if they are permissible, that might lead to problems. See 1 Corinthians 6:12.
You probably know some people with unresolved faults who choose to persist and ruin their lives rather than move ahead. 1,000 stumbling blocks are out there. It may be a hidden sin, an addiction, or unfairness, or a setback you weren't prepared for.
I would do such and such, but I can't.
Can't or won't?
Are you stuck? Do you have unresolved issues?
Doesn't everybody?
It is better to advance than be trapped in mire. But such progress isn't easy. Maybe there's a discipline you're hesitant to learn or a fault that's hard to give up. And let's draw a distinction between growth you're trying to make versus growth you're trying to avoid.
Ask yourself, how have you grown or regressed personally in the last few years? Or is it something holding you back? Can you be honest with yourself? Where are you in your personal life compared to where you were a few years ago? Where could you be? And where do you want to be?
Get the help of others. One way to tell whether you're stuck is to consider what people say to you. Suppose that several people have consistent complaints about your behavior. Are they all being unfair to you in the same way? Well, maybe they are. Or you could realize the common factor is you. Now what will you do?
Start small. Let's suppose your problem is self-pity and inaction. You can change from saying, "It's not fair that I have to clean the dishes." You can't change the facts that the dishes are dirty. Somebody expects you to clean them, and life isn't fair. You can say, "I need self-discipline in cleaning the dishes."
Some problems we don't overcome yet. Sometimes we work with them.
What if you don't know how to get out of the muck, or you don't have the strength? That's when you ask for grace, God's undeserved goodness. Let me tell you a story. A family of brothers sold their younger brother into slavery. Yes, their brother. Soon he ends up in prison. That story, that true story, is in Genesis chapters 37 through 50. But years later, after they all see what happened as totally unexpected results of his slavery, he says, "As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, to bring it about that many people should be kept alive, as they are today." That's Genesis 50, verse 20. When we're stuck, we want to get out of it. And sometimes God gets us out. Other times, God leaves us there because that's right where He wants us. Probably not quick, easy, and painless. We grow through our pain, not through our comfort. Your muscles have to get sore and tired before you get strong. The same is true of your soul. Sometimes we just need to pray to grow by the pain. There are 1,000 obstacles on the path of life. You will stumble and fall in many ways. The Bible says the righteous falls 7 times and rises again. That's from Proverbs 24:16. Get out of the muck? That's good. God grows you in the muck? That's good. Staying stuck in the muck by your own foolishness or stubbornness? That's not good.
When you're stuck in a problem, you're stuck in a place to grow.